My name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm gonna tell you the story of how the band Toto had the idea for their name. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Well, if you're a movie fan, you probably know the answer, by logic. But it wasn't, just because of the movie. A few other things happened. So let's start. Well, if you have watched the classic 1935 movie, The Wizard of Oz, you probably know that the dog in the movie is called Toto. And that's from where the idea for the name comes from. But there were a few other things that contributed for the band to adopt the name. And this is what I'm going to tell you today from the research we did. Well, the band was formed in Los Angeles, California in 1977 by highly respected session musicians. I mean, the only constant members of the band throughout the decades were Steve Lukather, the guitarist, and David Paich, the keyboardist and also singer. But they had many other incredible artists, especially on their first albums, which were the vocalist and keyboardist Bobby Kimball, the Porcaro family, the drummer Jeff Porcaro, the keyboardist Steve Porcaro, and one of their brothers were also the bassist of the band for a while. But in an interview with John Parr, Acoustic Fever, for the commentary, that we transcribed, there's a video where Bobby Kimball, the band's ex-keyboardist and vocalist, the man who was the vocalist on Africa, one of their most famous songs, for example, he explained how the name was chosen. And this is what he said. They were sitting at the house, Jeff Porcaro's house, the house Jeff Porcaro had, watching television. They were watching The Wizard of Oz. The little dog was named Toto, and they thought that was a good name for a band. That's where the name comes from. So that's what Bobby Kimball said, but there were a few other things that happened that contributed for the name to be adopted. And this was told by the band's former keyboardist, Steve Porcaro. And this is what he told, he said in an interview with Produced Like a Pro that we transcribed. And this is what he said. At the time, it was really a simple story. There was a bunch of different stories. You're going to hear the truth today. I remember very distinctively Jeff Porcaro saying there were these bands like NIXS, which was happening right then. U2, just wanted something simple, with a few letters as possible, something like Toto, but of course, it would never ever be Toto. That was the dog in The Wizard of Oz, a movie we all loved. And he continued saying, but we just wanted something simple like that, which was the kind of style at the time exact in the late 70s, but it was never going to be Toto, ever. But of course, that's what we would write on the cassettes. Anyway, the next thing you know, I'm looking at an album cover and it says Toto in it. It just kind of stuck. And I mean, they are one of the most influential bands of all time. Not only Africa, Hold the Line, Rosanna, and many other fantastic songs they have written and successful songs they released. And I mean, the late Jeff Ricardo was one of the most respected and successful session drummers of all time. He played with Michael Jackson, he played with Pink Floyd, he played with countless artists. If you look at his resume, man, I mean, he is just like Hal Blaine, for example, was part of the Wrecking Crew. He's a legendary session drummer, besides being a fantastic session drummer for Toto as well. And he tragically passed away too soon in the early 90s. And Steve Lukather, he played with Michael Jackson. He played on on Thriller. He played on, every classic Michael Jackson record from those early 80s, and many other fantastic players he contributed on the session recordings, and what an incredible guitarist as well. And the interesting thing is that a few years ago, Steve Lukather and Joseph Williams decided to tour under the name, not to tour under the name Toto for a while, and actually, I'm sorry, they toured under the name Toto, and the tour was called Dogs of Oz, which is obviously a direct connection with Toto, which is a dog from the Wizard of Oz movie. And this is it. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Visit the article I wrote about it. There you can find the link to these interviews. We mentioned it. You can watch the completed interviews with Bobby Kimball and Steve Porcaro. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, tell me if you knew this story or not, okay? Thank you for watching, and I see you later.